It was an ordinary day when the idea struck me. Build a Minecraft YouTuber their own Minecraft map. But not just any Minecraft map. The most extraordinary world any Minecrafter has ever seen. But that's when I realized I can't code. The dream was already dead. Or was it? Because I knew of somebody who might be able to help. One of my subscribers was a programmer, so I sent him an email asking for his help and went to bed for the night.
The next day.
A bit of idea explaining later, and he agreed to help me. The obvious question now was, which YouTuber are we building this world for? And of course, there was an issue. We both watched different sides of Minecraft YouTube. Everyone he had watched, I had never even heard of. Out of some of the people I watched, he knew 2 of them, Tubbo and LDShadowLady. Well, this was an easy choice for me. LDShadowLady has been my favorite YouTuber since I was a kid. Making a map for her would be amazing, and the programmer Brelly agreed. Shortly after, I made the first concept for the very first idea I had for this map. I am building a Minecraft world for LDShadowLady. By the end, we will have a vortex room, a perfect replica of her first Shadowcraft house, and 5 castles from 5 of her most popular Minecraft SMP series that can float in the air. And when it's all done, I will be reaching out to her to see if she would like to come play on this map with me. I was building LDShadowLady her own Minecraft world. I had a programmer who could help me and a rough idea of what the map would entail. Things were looking pretty good, so I began watching some old LDShadowLady content. The binge watch began, and it all started coming back.
Okay, release it, Jeremy. This is the most precious
Oh,
thing in my embarrassing.
With all my Lizzie knowledge fresh, I created an idea for the map and sent it off to the programmer. It went something like this. Essentially, she will start in a sort of dark void room where all her old videos are swirling around her, from Call of Duty to Portal to old Minecraft videos. Then she presses a button and teleports to a replica of her first Shadowcraft house. She sleeps in a bed in that house and then wakes up in her Crazycraft castle on a large cliff. She can see her Minecraft houses from all of her old series below her in a large valley. She elytras down and explores the houses. We'll put something cool in each one of them. When she leaves each house, it will float up in the air and allow access to the next house behind it. That's what I've got for now. According to the programmer, most of it would be possible. Dividing the map up, it looked like there would be 3 areas. Area 1, the vortex and her old videos. Area 2, her Shadowcraft house. And Area 3, the cliff, valley, and castles. So we began right away with Area 1, the vortex room. There was the idea that we could have Lizzie's old thumbnails float around in the vortex, but a bit of discussion later and we figured out that might not be possible. However, we could build sculptures representing Lizzie's old videos, and then shrink them down to a smaller size and have them float in the vortex. So we divided the work. My task: build sculptures representing Lizzie's old videos. Brelly's task: wait for me to finish building so he can shrink them down.
2 hours later.
These are all of the sculptures for the vortex. A gun for Call of Duty. A wholesome representation of her now unlisted Amnesia videos. A question mark. 5,000 and 100,000 for each of those subscriber milestones. 100th for her 100th video. Her old Minecraft skin. A hamster for a one-off hamster mod video. Okay, that's supposed to be a portal representing the game Portal she played on her channel a long time ago. The Sims. Hypixel, the touch the butt video. And from one of her first videos, the pink cheetah camo controller. With the sculptures complete, I sent the world file back to Brelly so he could shrink them down. Hopefully. There were never any promises that this would work. No, it worked. In fact, it worked too well. Apparently, you can shrink these builds down very, very small, like microscopic small. Look on the table. It's so tiny. I didn't even realize that this was a rickroll. Moving on. It's me. I'm curious to look inside these command blocks. I have no idea what any of this means. All the sculptures are shrunken down. This is awesome. Here's what shrinking down those builds look like from programming's point of view.
3:28 a.m.
I'm hoping the documentaries of this process will draw enough attention over time to get Lizzie or her audience's attention. That's the thing concerning me right now, is how logical is it that I'm gonna be able to get Lizzie to come on this or even notice it in the first place? If you want to see Lizzie notice this or even come and play on it, then share this with your fellow Shadow Cadets and stick around for the rest of the series. With the sculptures finished, it came time for another task divide. My task, build the first concept of the setting for Area 3. Brelly's task, start building the vortex. I don't even know how to explain this. I had an image of what the third area would look like in my mind, the one with the valley and the cliffs and Lizzie's old Minecraft castles, so I just started building. And after about 6 to 8 hours of building, I had come up with this. We have a huge cliff in the center where Lizzie's Crazycraft castle will be. This is her spawning place in this area. I created a forest and added some pink trees, of course. It's now time to turn these sand cliffs into stone and gravel. I'm just going to do it all at once and see what happens. Okay, that's apparently 5 million blocks. What could go wrong? And it's frozen. Yup, that has crashed the game. With the game rebooted, I continued building, this time turning the cliffs into stone piece by piece. And eventually, it was done. She will fly from this cliff over the forest to reach her castles. I had finished the third area, and soon after, Brelly sent me the world file back with the vortex in it. It was perfect. I had never seen anything like this in Minecraft before. The only thing left to do was scale it up and add the sculptures and put it in a dark room that's somehow light enough to see and maybe fix the settings so it's not just a flat world and figure out what that setting will be. And there was still so much to do. I asked Brelly to scale up the vortex and it was taking a few days. But that was okay for now, because I still had something to figure out. One thing about Lizzie's map had remained a mystery to me. What will be at the end? What's the big finish? It was around this time I began making YouTube shorts, asking for suggestions for Lizzie's world. And I was impressed by the amount of suggestions. And that's when it hit me. There weren't 3 areas of this world, there were 4. The 4th area would be the ending, a sanctuary of all of the suggestions Shadow Cadets were leaving. Leave your suggestions below. And pretty soon, Brelly had sent me the bigger version of the vortex back. It looks really cool. It's kind of mesmerizing, but something's missing. The world. The world was missing. It was flat land surrounding the vortex. There had to be something around it. Something breathtaking, like the valley in Area 3. I realized this was the beginning of the map, representing the beginning of Lizzie's channel, where she played darker games, like Call of Duty. It would make sense then that this starting area be darker, like... I decided to build these spooky trees. I'm not the greatest builder, but they looked spooky and dead enough to me. I didn't really know what I'd be doing with them, but I sent them to Brelly and suggested maybe making them purple? What he sent back gave me the perfect idea for the vortex area. He made a custom biome. The world looks normal, right? But when I cross into this darker grass, the sky turns red. Brelly continued to work on the biome, and the final product turned out like this. Normal world, purple world. It's perfect. Right away, I snatched my spooky trees and went off to build an entire forest of them. And of course, wouldn't you know it, I lost the footage for most of the building, because this forest actually took several days to build. I went ahead and fixed up the original tree designs and added a whole new one. Wow, new tree. Nice new tree. I added lots of bushes, maybe even too many bushes. Then I decided the spooky forest looked a bit dull on its own. So I began thinking, what would be fun? What's fun to do in Minecraft? Is there anything I could add that would be fun to do? Boating? I made a river run through the forest, created a few waterfalls, and of course, a cute little dock. Soon it was evident, this was no longer the vortex room. This was the spooky forest. Ooh. The plan now was simple. Lizzie would spawn in and take a boat ride down the river. The vortex would be surrounding the forest, and there would be floating blocks everywhere. She would see the ghosts of many sculptures representing her old videos floating around the riverboat ride. She would enter the waterfall at the end of the ride, press the button, and be teleported to Area 2. But still, one more thing was off. The original sculptures I had built didn't fit anymore. This was a spooky forest, and they were a bit too alive. Does that sound weird? Do you see where I'm going with this? The sculptures needed to be dead. They needed to be ghosts of the past. Mission: make ghosts! I began turning the colors of the sculptures into whites and grays, making them look ghost-like. It really didn't take long. Thanks, World Edit. But simply being white and gray does not classify one as a ghost. There is one more important quality to being a ghost. Floating! You have to be able to float. Now, I struggled to explain to Brelly the motion I wanted for the ghost, so I ended up just finding a gif of a ghost doing this swirly, bouncy thing. He seemed to understand it. Now that Area 1 was figured out, it was time for the moment of truth. It was time for Brelly to add the spooky textures to the forest. The grand reveal. Here we go. It was horrible. I put way too many leaves along this river. It looks so messy. I'm going to have to clean this up a lot before this area can be finished. The purple looks beautiful. The water fading into color is so nice. But there were just so many leaves. We had some serious cleaning up to do.